I always forget that. Success Club from June. You guys have just, so many of you are new coaches and you've worked so hard the last couple of months to set yourself up for momentum. And I just want to honor you by bringing on a couple of my dearest mentors and friends within the business who have helped me get where I am today. I hit 6-star yesterday, and the Fowler started encouraging me and helping me for no benefit to them at all about 1.5 years ago, and have just gone above and beyond for our team. So super excited to have them on today, and I'm just going to let them run with it, and you guys be sure and take notes and absorb every ounce of powerful story that they're going to be sharing, and any other tips or little nuggets that they throw out there along the way. So Dennis and Julie, you guys kind of tell us where you are with the business at this point, and what you guys are working on this year, and a little bit about your story and whatever else is on your heart.
Cool.
We're really much better off the cuff anyway.
Yeah,
so.
we are. We're like, we're like, no, we're not going to use any slides. So for the people that I can see, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. One is driving, so be very careful doing this. On your hands, I want you to show me how many years do you have in the business? 1 year. Okay, 1, 0. So not almost 1. Okay.
Brand new.
Okay, very cool. Paula, how many do you have again? 4 years? Off and on? Okay.
He's a comeback kid.
Yeah, seatbelt on. Be safe. All right. 0. All right, very cool. All right. So I just hit my 6-year mark yesterday. I'm sorry, not yesterday, but like last week. 6 years in the business. And that's kind of crazy to me because, I don't know, the old me, it was like I used to be the kind of guy, even growing up, that I would hop job to job. Even my police departments that I was at, in 12 years I worked at 3 departments. So, it's kind of crazy to me that I've been here for 6 years because I've been the kind of guy that just gets that itch that I want to do something else. I want to do something else just to kind of keep the passion going. But with this, it's different. I don't have that. I've never had that itch. This is an amazing business that you guys are in. It's freaking, it's awesome. But let me tell you, because once I was new like you, and for the ones who are like brand new, oh my gosh, I don't know. I can remember back to those days, and I was like 300 pounds. Now I'm not, and but I was a police officer. Julie worked at a bank, and we had just like a tremendous amount of debt. Everything that we made, back then as a cop, I would make like, I don't know, 6 years ago, I make like $1,400 every 2 weeks, which for a cop is just not a lot of money, right? And, Julie, she would make what she made, but it wasn't enough because we had to work extra. I worked extra jobs that took me out of the house like an extra 2 days a week. Julie had to clean a funeral home in her part-time, taking the kids with her because we couldn't afford a sitter either.
And that was literally the difference. Me cleaning that funeral home that week was the difference between would we be overdrawn and would we not.
And guys, it was like $70 a week she was making at the funeral home. That was the difference maker. If like this is, we're good. It was, and this is where we're like, okay, we got to borrow money from family or something, which we never did.
$70 was the difference.
It was crazy.
If too many people in our town passed away that week, and I couldn't clean the funeral home that weekend, it meant we would be overdrawn. Yeah. And that was just it. And so it was really a sad, desperate time when you're cleaning the funeral home with your kids and they're helping vacuum and they no longer even are scared. They don't have any fear. They're just helping, and they read the programs and they know who they're cleaning. It was a sad and desperate time.
Yeah.
I let Dennis do a lot of talking in the beginning of the story because, truth be told, I did not come into this business until probably
a year
after he started. I did not want anything to do with it. And so the beginning part of it, I don't know, I was kind of hands off besides a little bit of complaining here and there. But a little complaining here and there. And then So I just kind of shut up and let him tell the first part. So that's why I don't say much right now, because I don't.
Is that your cue to be quiet so I can talk?
I know that I'm telling y'all why I'm not going to talk, and it's taken me like 30 minutes to tell y'all I'm going to shut up.
Be quiet already. No. Okay. So it was desperate times. So whenever I was presented with the business, I didn't have $160 to get started, but I did it anyways. And I'm pretty sure some of you were there too. You didn't have the money, but you did it anyways because you were inspired by Miranda. You're inspired by somebody else. And you're like, gosh darn it, if she can do it, then I can do this thing too. And that stands true today. If she can be a 6-star diamond and build this business the way that she has, I mean, she was a professor. She's a mom. You know, she has a husband who's self-employed. If she can do all that with I mean, didn't you have didn't you have a child who was sick? I mean, she did all this at the same time. So whenever she says, gang it, you can do this because I've done it too, it stands true. And I'm going to tell you the same thing. I was a cop, no experience in network marketing. Banker, no experience in network marketing. We were broke as a joke.
No experience with fitness.
No experience with fitness. I mean, I went to a gym, but I was still 300 pounds. So I did this, I joined, and I'm going to tell you right now, for the ones who are new and you're already making Success Club, freaking high five. Because it took me like 7 months to get Success Club and to make it my first month. 7 months. Because what happened was I started, and I don't know if this sounds like some of you or some people that you know, maybe some people on your team. You start, you buy in, and you don't do nothing. You're giving people tips, so your coach is giving you tips, and you do nothing with it. That was me. So 3 months into this thing, I tried to quit. I faxed in my stuff to quit. Twice, the paperwork did not go to Coach Relations. It was like, I don't know. They didn't receive the information. So I believe still today that I was here. That fax didn't go through for a reason. And so anyways, that's what I took it as back then. I'm like, apparently I need to stay. Apparently I need to do this. This is where God wants me. So but I didn't get it right away. But I guess I finally took my coach's advice, and he's like, sign 2 people for the love of God. Sign 2 people. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I found my first discount coach. Julie had wanted nothing to do with this business, so I signed her anyways because I knew her social.
It just makes sense.
You know, so I didn't even ask her for a social. I knew her social, dadgummit.
We could really, let's just stay married because we know too much.
Yeah.
I'll mess you up.
I'll mess you up. Anyways. So I signed her up, went Emerald, went to my first event. And if you're new, you know, I forget which ones say that they're new. The ones that held up a 0 is get to the events. Oh my gosh, get to the events. Get to Super Saturdays. They are amazing. That's where I had my aha moment, was at a first Super Saturday-like event. It wasn't called the Super Saturday back then. But it was amazing because, you know, I heard all the success stories because back then they did a whole bunch of success stories. And I'm like, and it was the same thing. Oh, because Chris, my coach, that's the only other guy that I knew. I didn't know. I mean, Facebook, we had 100 friends back then, and our accounts was combined. We don't do that anymore, obviously. So I didn't know any other coaches. I didn't know any other successful coaches besides Chris, my coach. So whenever I went to the event and I seen people just like me and Julie that were making this thing work for them, it really inspired me. And I had my first aha moment. And that was basically my coach born date. We all have like a sign-on date as coaches. You all have your sign-on date. Mine's like July 10th of 2010. But you all have your born date where you freaking get it, right? And that's when it hit me.
So one thing to say about that event is I was signed up to be a coach, and it was really, it's kind of cool to look back because it was Chris and Cody Reed who are our upline, the couple that signed us up. And then it was my stepdad, my mom's husband, because he was one of Dennis's coaches, and it was me. And then I think there was like 2 other people there, and that was basically our team. And that was basically Chris's like first event to ever have anybody show up besides him. So that's kind of cool considering he's 10-star and elite so many times. But we were there and like had no idea like what would happen from that point. I went and I told Dennis, because I wasn't in on this business, I said, when I pick up my purse and walk out of this thing, because if they start Role playing, I'm out. I do not role play.
For some reason, you thought that was role playing. You don't role play.
You know how it is at those seminars where you role play and you like have to turn to the person next to you and shake their hand and do. I don't like that. No. So it's like if we role play, I will get my purse and leave, and you have approximately 2 minutes to follow me out that door. If I go to the bathroom and don't come back, go ahead and walk out and assume that I'm in the car. I was ready to jet. But we ended up staying, and this was like no Super Saturday. Like we have drive-through fast food Super Saturdays now compared to what this thing was. It was like an 8 hour, it seemed like. Was it 8 hours? It was a long time. It was called a game plan event, and it was long. And I stayed for the whole thing. And when we left, Chris has a different version. Like I feel like I left the meeting excited, but Chris said I stood there like this and me mugged him down while he tried to have his raw team moment and get everybody excited to like go forward. I don't think that was the case, but maybe I just have that face that people think.
That B face.
You know
what I'm talking about.
I might have it. If y'all see me at Summit and I have it, just know I'm probably really excited.
She's not a B.
I'm really excited when I have that face too. So, but we left, and it was so funny the drive home, because I can tell you, just know this about yourselves and about other coaches on your team. In the beginning, you'll get really excited a lot of times, and maybe you'll have coaches that get really excited, and they are totally off base and have really weird ideas. And you'll even look back at some of the things that you do now, and you'll go, that's weird. Like, why did I post that back then? That's so strange. Miranda never told me to do anything of the such, because, what is it? On this day reminds us every week how stupid we were 5 years ago, every week. But we left, and we saw people with their cars wrapped, and we saw all this stuff. And our first thought was, Vista Print, we have got to make all the banners and all the flyers and wrap all the cars, and it's going to be awesome. And that was our thoughts after that, but we were excited. So I just like to point that out. Like, even when we got it, we still didn't get it, like really get it, like it still took us time. So
that's when I caught the bug. Whenever I got it, that's where I caught. Yeah, that's where I caught the bug. And I made Success Club like that next month in December of 2010, and I've been making it ever since. So December of 2010 and I've already made it. This month, July of 2016, I've been making Success Club ever since. And honestly, guys, whenever Miranda's like, okay, Success Club, Success Club, Success Club, it's not because, I guess for some reason, my coach got something special whenever I made Success Club. But that was
our thought.
It was like Chris is only wanting me to hit these certain marks only because it benefits him. Never mind the fact that Success Club benefits me and it progresses my business forward. And it becomes a part of my mindset. It becomes a part of my language to my team. Because I tell my team all the time, if you want to get to where I am, make Success Club each and every month. Teach that to your team. Once you're in, then you help your team get in. And then you do that consistently each and every month. And that's all I've done. And, it's like, and it felt hard. My first month, I'm like, oh, my God, I got to help 3 people. Actually, back then, you had to help more than 3 people, I think, because like Shakeology was like 1 point.
Everything was 1 point. Only Shakeology. It's hard for me to put my brain on this. Shakeology was 1 point if it was home direct.
It still is.
And it still is. But that was it. There was no challenge pack, so 2 points didn't even exist. You had to do it 1 point at a time. And one of those points had to be a coach, or else I didn't care if you signed up 7 people on Shakeology Home Direct, you weren't in Success Club.
Yeah.
So it was so different that I can't even think about how did life work without challenge packs? I don't even know.
But it used to be hard. But that's because I was getting used to the amount of work that it took to secure it. Now I know Dennis has to talk. I'm talking. I have to talk to 30 to 50 people to make Success Club every month. I have to present the opportunity. Some months I don't have to do it to that many people. Some months it comes easier. Some months it's freaking hard and I turn up the heat. But it always gets done. And because it became a part of my language and my mindset, that's why I'm here today, because other people are like, I want what Dennis has. I want Dennis's business. I want to make what Dennis does. I want to walk away from my jobs. I want to pay off a whole crap ton of debt. So I need to do what Dennis does to get there. And that's basically how it's going to happen for you guys. So after that, after my first month of making Success Club, I joined a 90 Days to Diamond group. And I'm sure Miranda and, Brandy, they all do like diamond groups for you guys. And, maybe some are going to be the future and you're going to be really hesitant to do it. That's fine. Regardless if you do it or not, you're going to make diamond anyways. Because you're hungry for it. You don't need a diamond group to go diamond. Sure, it helps you. It holds you accountable. You may make it faster than if you didn't have it. But, excuse you, bless you. But you're going to make diamond regardless. But I made diamond in the group in 80 days. And then, I basically did not find my first worker because, I don't know, some of you may find it's easier to get customers. Some of you may find it easier not to post about your Beachbody earnings, not post about what the business has done for you. So you're recruiting a lot of discount coaches, and that's fine. Discount coaches are awesome. They have their place. They're appreciated. They're awesome people. Maybe some of you used to be a discount coach, right? But I realized, I was like maybe 6 months as a diamond still, and I was like, what is going on? I see all these other coaches, right? You start comparing yourself. I see all these other coaches that are becoming star diamonds, and I'm making Success Club. Why am I not growing further than diamond? Something must be wrong. And it really wasn't wrong. It was just a different way to do things. I felt comfortable getting customers. I felt comfortable getting discount coaches because, you know what? I never presented the business opportunity to people. I didn't say, hey, I'm making like $200-300 a week now. This is changing my life. I'm paying off credit cards and debt left and right. I don't know if this would be for you or not, but I would love to mentor you and train you so you can duplicate the same things that I'm doing now. And it's easy. It's simple. It's one step at a time, yada, yada, yada. I never presented the business to people. That's why my business wasn't growing. So I didn't find my first worker until I presented the business to someone after, honestly, probably consistently do it for at least a month or two. Then I found my first person. And they became my first diamond. Then Julie became my next diamond. And I'll let her talk more about that, about why she finally, decided to click. But if you're recruiting a lot of discount coaches, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just doing it different than it's another way. But if you change your language that you do with your inviting, if you put more stuff on your wall about what the business has done for you financially, besides the physical part, and I know what you're probably thinking, it's like, well, Dennis, I only make like a cycle bonus maybe a week. Or, maybe I'm only making like a few $100 extra a month. And that probably seems a little bit insignificant to you. Okay? First, quit that. That's a lot of money. $300. Are you freaking kidding me? What have you been able to do with that? How many more times has it been easier to put gas in your car or take your family out to lunch or pay that electric bill or what have you? That is a lot of money. People would kill to have $300 extra a month. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Okay. So Dennis went diamond, and that was great. I did go diamond. Did I go diamond before we went to Atlantis?
No.
Okay, so what happened was... Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think I did. So we went... What really got me to want to work this business, I actually did get to diamond.
But you got to diamond pretty quickly. Because once my first diamond went diamond, this is another lady in our family. Once she went diamond, Julie was like, Marcy can do this. I sure as heck can do this. And she did it like in no time. Let
me tell you how this year went for me. I quit 2 diamond groups. The first one I quit it because I think it was role play, y'all. They wanted me to pretend to talk to a customer or something like that in some video, and I was out. The second one I quit because they wanted me to make a dream board, and I thought that was goofy, and I didn't want to do it. This is just me. My heart was hardened to this business, and I was like, dream board, let me make some money. Like, let's put some money in the bank. Like, I didn't want to cut pictures out of a magazine and make a dream board. I just didn't. And so I quit 2 diamond groups. And for Dennis, I'm sure that was hard because, he's a diamond and I
was also running the group.
He's my husband. Well, I didn't want to make a dream board. So he's helping run the group, and he wants me to go diamond, and I'm his spouse, and I still quit the group. And I didn't want anything to do with it. And I was like, I'm going to do this my own way on my own time. And I did. So not everybody, I think that one lesson that I can teach you about coaching is the way that you do coaching is not wrong. Like, you can do this business however you want to. If you don't like diamond groups, there's nothing broken in you. Like, for me, I'm better at teaching them and bossing people in them than being a participant. I'm a horrible participant in groups. I'm horrible. But that doesn't make me a bad coach. I just don't want to do diamond groups. I do things my own way. And that's led me, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, on how I lead my team, is realizing that some people are like Dennis, very responsive to groups and that group atmosphere. And some people are more like me, and they just want the info and move with it. And I train people both ways, but just because I've seen that throughout these years and learned that. But I thought maybe something was wrong with me because I couldn't get rah-rah in the diamond group like everybody else. Maybe I wasn't cut out for that. But I did make diamond. And the very first Success Club trip we went on, we went to Atlantis in the Bahamas. That was a big trip for our family because it was somewhere our kids had dreamed of going. It was the first trip that we had earned together. And it was a very, very memorable and cool trip, to be honest with you. There was one point where because it was a lot smaller, that Success Club trip, than what you have now, we spent the entire time with our upline and our really best friends, the Reeds. And there was one night on that trip, that final night, when Chris, he basically said, I'm going to quit my job soon. And me and Dennis were this is early days. Like, you didn't talk really so much about quitting your jobs at that point, because you're thinking, ooh, this is craziness. But at that time when he said that, it seemed so possible. And it just kind of changed something in us. Like, we realized we can quit our jobs. Like, this is legit. Like, we can do it. And, I went back to work, and I was like, life can just not be the same. Like, I can't sit behind this desk. I don't want to sit behind this desk. I want to be home with my kids. I want to have, I want to do more trips like that. And we could quit our jobs too. And it was seriously 2.5 months. Maybe 2.5 months before I was able to quit the bank. Not because 2.5 months I hit the gas after that, but because Dennis had put in so much work that year prior, it made it possible, and we just ramped it up. That's another cool thing about this business. When you make a decision and set a new goal for yourself, just push the gas pedal and go. You determine how much you make. Just get out there and work even more. So we had that goal, and we did it. And I was home, and I wanted Dennis to come home and be home with me, but he was stubborn, and he waited for another year, right?
9 months.
9 months before he actually decided to quit his job. And so since then, we've been at home working this business together now for about
3 years.
3 years. And I could not imagine going back to work and working any other way. Could not imagine it. Dennis, that year that we went, was it the year that we went to Atlantis that you made elite?
Yes.
Okay, so he made elite in 2012, which was a huge deal. And to be honest with you, this was the coolest elite year ever. So when you go for elite, you'll totally know what I mean. Miranda's going to totally know what I mean. It was like November, and Chris, who's pretty fresh at elite himself, requirements were totally different for elite back then. I think you had to be 2-star, and the points were like 100
points.
And so, but anyways, Chris, like in November, was like, oh, hey, and by the way, Dennis, I think you're going to make elite this year. And Dennis was like, oh, cool. And then he did.
He's like, how many elite points do you have? I'm like, I don't know. What's elite? So, he said, well, look at these points here and tell me. And he's like, yeah, dude, you're going to make elite. Awesome.
And that was it. And then he just made elite, and it was like,
and then
elite. We don't know. It was like the weirdest thing ever. Then the next year, he was like, well, I'm going to make elite again. And I'm like, in January, yeah, I'm going to make elite too. So Dennis is rocking and rolling. I'm doing my thing, I wasn't slacking, y'all. I'm running training groups. I'm doing all this stuff for the team. And come September, Dennis had earned the leadership retreat. And so I got to go as his guest, which was cool. And we're there, and I'm a diamond coach. And this is in September
2013.
Okay. Dennis is already pretty much still the lead at this point, September 2013. So we do the leadership thing. I'm feeling blah, kind of intimidated, almost angry and competitive because I'm seeing all these people be successful, and I'm feeling like, man, I've busted my butt this whole year. I've ran training groups. I've done everything that I think is the right things to do, and why am I not as far ahead? So we leave leadership, and this was just a fate car ride. That's it. This was just, had to be. We actually went to the car rental place, and Melissa McAllister was in the car rental place, and she's like, hey.
It was y'all's upline.
Yeah. And so we love her, and she's like, hey, y'all want to just get a car? We leave at the same time. Let's just get a car to the airport together. And I was like, okay, because let me tell you that I loved Melissa McAllister.
Still do.
Still do.
She's awesome.
But she was one of the girls that spoke on stage at that game plan event that we were like, what in the world? You know, like, she's doing all this at the time, you know, she's telling us what she's doing. And so every time we saw her from then, we kind of remembered her from that game plan event and just had seen her be successful. So here we are, we're taking this ride with her. And she just very casually just is in the back seat and says, so y'all going to make Elite this year? And I said, yeah. You know, I don't know why I said yes, because I was a diamond. I'm so dumb. And she's like, awesome. So,
how many points do you have?
It was so embarrassing because I knew she knew the rules because she's always Elite in top 10. And so Dennis is like, oh, blah, 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 I have this many points. I'm already in, blah, I just have to hold it. And so Melissa's like, so where are you at, Julie? And I was like, 60 points. And she was like, oh, are you 5-star? And I was like, no, I'm a diamond. Because you have to be 5-star and have 100 points.
100, yeah.
And she was like, awesome. Very cool for y'all. You know, and she didn't say, wow, seems like you're kind of far off the mark. Probably not going to make it. Maybe next year. She was just like, awesome for y'all. I'm so happy for you guys. That's so great. And I just thought, well, crap, I just freaking told Melissa McAllister that I was going to be Elite and have 60 points and I'm a diamond coach. And now I'm going to look so stupid in January. Like, I'm going to be that dumb. And so I went home and I rallied up my team and we both made Elite. Like, I pulled out 40 points in
3 months.
October, November, December. That's a lot of points, y'all. I don't know if you know the rules. And 5 diamonds in 3 months. And so it can totally happen. I don't care where you're at. Once you put your mind, it's that whole thing. When you want to do something, you hit the gas and you do it. We both made Elite again in 2014. And so that was really cool. Like, it's really cool to make Elite. It's really, really cool to make Elite with your spouse, I think. So, I don't know.
And then last year, we didn't hit it.
We didn't hit Elite. So can we talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because there's like a really like rah point of our story in our business.
Do you have time to talk about that, Miranda?
Okay. And
y'all can just get off and say, shut up if y'all are done with this.
But then there's some life lessons in here, too, that we want to mix in. So 2015 was kind of a rough year for us. I don't know, you know, after 2014, after hitting Elite, you know, in January of 2015, we were, like, completely drained.
Not to say that you have to be drained after hitting Elite.
Draining it's a choice. It really is. But it got the best of us. So not only did we feel drained, but we had concentrated so much on work that, honestly, guys, it became our idol. And I don't want to, you know, talk about – well, I am going to talk about it. We are religious people. We are Christians. We are believers in Jesus, and we follow him as best as we can. But we put this business before him, and you know, that caused not only friction between us, but our kids as well. And that was really, really hard. So basically 2015, we had to kind of get back on the right path. And
we had to make a choice.
Where
was our priority?
Was our priority, because we have seen this business not destroy marriages, but we have seen people who do this business let their marriages get destroyed because they concentrate too much on this business.
Number one, Beachbody is not the enemy.
No.
Beachbody is amazing. You can have amazing success. It is positive, uplifting. It's what you do with it, just like anything. And working from home, working for yourself, you set your own hours, you set your priorities, and where you put those will make all the difference in the world. And for us, for 2 years, we had put this business as number one, and we had put everything else as 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I would not go back and change anything about that. That's kind of a weird thing to say, because we did learn so many great lessons in that time that I think from here going forward, not only are we better in our business, but we're able to start right from the beginning and give our coaches the right foundation and like tell them and teach them from our mistakes. So yeah.
So we course corrected.
I cry a lot. I'm sorry.
We course corrected. We got back on the right path. And, business is, we're maintaining growth. I mean, we still grow 20 to 25% every year. And I know, as you grow into leadership if you're making Success Club, you're basically already a leader. But as you grow more into this leadership role, I mean, you're going to realize how easy it is to be so focused on this business. And there are going to be people who tell you that because it's this business and because this business is a good thing, that it's okay to be 100% controlled on this thing, but it's not. There are going to be some people who tell you, like top freaking coaches who tell you it's okay to be so focused on this business that you have to buy your time back with your kids later. What if there's no time to buy back later? Seriously. What if God chose to take one of our kids from us and, the last year or two, all we had was this business and we neglected them? How horrible would that be? It would be horrible. I mean, I'm not telling you that don't go for top 10 because you can. It's just, it's just so easy to get caught up in all the accolades, because I'm motivated by recognition. I don't know if y'all are too, but I love a pat on the back. I love the new shiny rank option thing, and I'm like going for it. I'm motivated by that.
I hate recognition so much. Like me walking across the stage at Summit, you might as well tie me to something and pull me across. I hate it. I hate waving. I didn't want to wave, but I felt the pressure and I waved anyways, and then I hated myself for it.
But let me finish this talk about with this. There is a way to have your plans and your goals for this business to the point where it doesn't take 100% of your time. You look at these goals, you pray over these goals, and you think about how these awesome goals are going to affect your family, and it's going to make everything better. But there is a way to give everything to God first, your family second, and this business third, and still hit these goals, okay? It can happen. It's going to be hard, but it can happen. Because what you can do is you can go 100% to your goals in your business, and here's God and your family over here. You can still hit them this way, but is this still going to be here after you hit those goals? I doubt it.
Yeah, so, that side of our story is a little more, but because that is part of it, like, I never want to leave it out. Like, it is the truth. People, if they ask us, why did we not go for Elite in 2015? Crap, we did. It's not that we didn't want it. I would do it in a heartbeat, but because we realigned and things, third year, fourth year in, it gets harder.
I'm going to say it. We wouldn't be married right now probably if we stayed on the path that we were and we didn't course correct and we didn't get our priorities straight. But by the time, I guess, we kind of got our priorities straight, it was kind of too late to hit Elite, because there is like a breaking point where you have to have so many points by this time, and Elite gets harder each and every year for a purpose, because more and more people are hitting it. So anyways, I knew that our marriage would be in shambles if we both did it again. And, I remember being behind stage last year at Summit 2015 in Nashville, because of the accolades that we did in 2014. And I think I talked to 2 girls whose marriages had fallen apart. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, oh, wow, that is so sad. But to me, it was a sign. And, that we should speak up more about how it's okay not to give your all to this business, but to have your priorities aligned, because,
Yeah, and, leadership this past year, there was a lot of talk about that. And, they really put an emphasis on priorities and staying in line with things, because there is, and you know, wanting us to talk about balance between the business and your relationship, and there's just not balance there. Like, you give more to your family and your faith, and then you give the rest and less to this business, and that's how you're successful, I think. And you can be so successful in this 100%, but just priorities, like that's what I would say. So yeah, so we both this I forget where we go from here.
So basically, what's been going on with our lives right now is like we're in a brand new RV, and life is good. We're at a state park. We're taking this RV to Summit.
Our house this summer is literally a laundromat, because we go home to wash clothes.
And then we leave again. We
go to church, and then we leave again. And so that's awesome. We're taking the RV and the kids to Summit this year. And so it's amazing. Like, I'm excited to have the kids there with us so that they can kind of see what this is all about. But also, for me, like, it'll be so nice to come back to the RV at nighttime and see my kids, you know, and just be there. That's just us.
So, I mean, let's pump you up again. Okay. Everything that Miranda has done, you can do too. Everything that we have done, you can do as well. You know, be smart with your priorities. If you're not married, you don't have any kids, honey, go for it. Go for freaking elite. You know what I'm saying? Just freaking do it. If you have kids,
walk your dog though. If you have a dog,
yeah. Like, if you have kids and if you are married, you can still go for elite. Freaking do it. Go for it. You know, I'm convinced that, you know, making elite in 2012 and 2013, that's what brought both of us home. So if you have goals like that to come home, just make it happen. Honor those priorities. You can still do it. But this business is legit. You know, we say it all the time. If Beachbody disappeared, we would find another business like this to, you know, to do. That's true. I'm convinced, because I love working with people. I love the challenges, the adversities, even the frustrations that this business presents. I mean, it's, guys, I was a cop, and there's cops getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Compared to that, I mean, this business is a freaking blessing. It is awesome. But, you know, I mean, this business is going to help us be completely debt-free, including our home, which is only like a few years old by the time that we're 40. You know, it's a pretty awesome thing. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of personality you are. Julie's like a ruby personality. I'm more of like a ruby sapphire. I'm sure we have some pearls on this call. Freaking save the world. You know what? If you're motivated by saving people, then do that. If you're motivated by challenges, set a challenge for yourself. Tell your upline about a challenge that you want to hit, a goal that you want, and just freaking do it. But this business is awesome. I can't say that enough. It's blessed us immensely. I know a lot of you are new. It's kind of hard to fathom being here like 6 years from now. That's fine. Don't think of 6 years from now, but be here a year from now, right? Write down some things that you want to accomplish in a year. And it may not be elite, and it may not be a specific rank, because to me, it's kind of hard to get motivated by rank a little bit. And I know that there's more people who are really find it hard to be motivated by a rank. But diamond is probably something that looks, I mean, possible, but maybe like, oh my gosh, it's like so hard. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But diamond is like the foundation, right? It's like the foundation, and you're going to be able to do so much more once you get to that rank, because you have to think about it. I mean, as a diamond, I was making like $200-300 a week, and I'm sure there's emeralds on this call who are making that right now. But I mean, that was an extra mortgage payment back then. You know, so really, you have to align those ranks with what you're going to be able to do with the income that becomes from it. And that's what motivates me, not necessarily the rank itself.
Okay, so basically, I guess to sum us up, Success Club is key in growing your business, 100%. Every single month, non-negotiable. You're going to do some dumb things in the beginning. You're going to do some dumb things 2 years in. You're going to learn a lot of lessons.
We are still learning, y'all. I
don't want to learn for a little while, though. I just want to not learn. Do you ever just feel like you just don't want to learn anything for just a little bit, like life lessons? Like, let's just calm down. I've learned enough.
Oh, my gosh. One more thing.
Load.
Personal development. Guys, your mind sucks. Your attitude naturally sucks. It's human. We're all human, and that's just the way it is. You need to do this. You have to. I challenge you to read, to listen, to look up YouTube videos. I don't care how you get it done. If you're on your commute like Katie was a little bit ago, or she's still driving, listen to some personal development. Listen to something. John Maxwell, Jim Rohn, Grant Cardone, those are some of our favorite authors. Just do it, because you need to learn new skill. I remember watching an old video from a Super Saturday that I was in the audience of back in like 2011. The recording of it is on YouTube, and it's really cool. Anyways, it was by Craig Holliday was a guest speaker there, and he was talking about back then it was like Barbie Decker and Tommy Migrant. And a lot of these names you probably don't even know, but these are like the old school rock stars that I still look up to, but I really looked up to back then. And he was like, the reason Tommy is the reason his business is where it is right now, and Christine and Barbie's and all these other people, Melissa's, the reason their business is where they are and it's different from where it was in the beginning is because they're different people, right? You got to be different. You got to get better. And, everyone has had frustrations and faced adversities and everything, and that becomes a part of your story. And let me finish with this. This is a great.
He's like a pastor, y'all. You think he's done, and then he's got 3 more points.
Yeah. Before I close in prayer, just kidding. So let me say this one story. That I heard at Distill. This news reporter did an interview on 2 different people. There are 2 brothers. There are 2 twin brothers. They grew up in a very, very bad home. But they had different lives. One was a multimillionaire, right? Very successful, big home, a lot of cars, big family. He was a great steward. He tithed. He went to church. He did all this great stuff. The other twin was in prison serving a life sentence, right? So they were like, this news report was like, this is very odd. 2 brothers, different lives. Let me do an interview for him. So she did the interview, and she asked the brother, who was the multimillionaire, how did it get to this point? You had a bad life. How did you get to this point now? And he was like, what other choice did I have? I was abused. I was in a bad home. My life sucked. I had to find food. My parents didn't feed me. They were addicts and yada, yada, yada. What other choice did I have? So he had no choice but to do better. And because of those choices that he made, from that point, he became a multimillionaire. They did an interview on the guy who was in prison serving a life sentence. And he was like, well, you had a bad life. How did you get to this point? And he was like, what other choice did I have? I was abused. I was neglected. My life sucked. My parents were addicts. Both brothers had the same story. They had no other choice. But it's because of those choices that they made from that point, that they were little kids, determined their life. One's a multimillionaire, one serving a life sentence in prison. So you all have choices in this business. I mean, you're not going to go to the pen for not doing your business. But if you don't make the right choice, I
could put some coaches in the pen for not doing their business. They need it.
But if you don't make the right choices in your business, a year from now, you're not going to have anything. 6 months from now, you're not going to have anything. No fruit that's from this business. Or you could be like this other brother who made all the awesome changes. He made positive choices, positive changes, and now he's a multi-millionaire. Why can I not say that word? Millionaire.
Millionaire.
And, it's the same thing. Guys, you can become a multi-millionaire in this business. It's freaking possible. I know many of them. I said it right that time. And it all depends upon your choices. Those daily choices that we do that seem so mundane, like they're insignificant, like inviting somebody or following up with somebody or drinking your shake or doing your workout. They seem so mundane, so insignificant. But guys, after a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6, your life is going to look nothing like what it started out to be. And it all starts right now with the choices that you make, like Making Success Club. So awesome job, Making Success Club, I guess last month in June, right? Hopefully you're in it by now, because, baby, we're about to go to Summit, and you're going to have a hard time. You don't want to be during the presentations, and you're on your little bitty phone or your laptop trying to make Success Club. Now, if it comes to that, you're going to have to do that, but that's your fault for letting it get to that point, okay? I'm in. She's in. I'm sure Miranda's in. So we know. So just keep making Success Club. Let that be your language. Keep that mindset and that attitude, and your life and your business will be completely different in a year or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. Did you want to end with that one quote?
You want me to say it?
Yeah, well, did you want to say something about that? All right, I found this one quote. It says it's by unknown. I don't know, but it says it's crazy that some people feel that 2 to 5 years in business is a long time to get rich, but don't feel that 40 years at a job is a long time to stay broke, right? 2 to 5 years isn't a long time, guys. 6 years, they have flown by. And this business is still infantile compared to the Herbalifes or the Advocares. I read a thing the other day that said Herbalife only has 20% of business in the U.S., 20%, 80% is worldwide. That's going to be us, okay? I mean, soon. So stick around, keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to get better.
Amen. And the congregation said, Amen, right? Oh my gosh, I love hearing you guys speak. I can't get enough of you. Y'all are so awesome, and I love that you guys come at this from the same perspective my team does, with God first, family second, this business third. I mean, that is hardcore what we believe as well. And success can happen even with keeping your priorities straight. And so I'm so glad you guys shared all parts of your story with us. Before we let you go, I had a couple of things that dawned on me while you were talking, and then I also have a question. First of all, as you guys were speaking, I thought, I've seen this happen, and I think there are 3 ways Satan tries to keep this business from being a blessing. And you guys hit on one of them, and that's getting so caught up in recognition and achievement and accomplishment that you lose sight of what really matters in life. And I have to gut check myself all the time on that, because I'm like you, Dennis. I am motivated by seeing 6-star diamond in my coach online office. But I coach for 5 years. And rather than hitting that within 12 months, it's taken me 5 years because I refuse to put my family last. And I also refuse to push my coaches as though they're doing this for me rather than for them. In reality, I'd rather somebody take a year to hit diamond and do the personal development that it takes to make that something that's for them rather than push them to do it in 6 weeks for me.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, that's my personal philosophy on that. So I think that's one way Satan tries to get in the way of this. Another one is I have so many coaches, and some of them are on this call right now, who Satan uses fear to keep them from their blessing. I have coaches that had 4 Success Club points for June and didn't quite make it because they are so scared. They're scared of success. They're scared of rejection. They're scared of, what if I do sell a challenge pack? Then what am I going to do with this person? I'll probably let them down. That's a big one for coaches on my team. And then the third one is something I also heard you guys kind of touch on, and that's blaming Beachbody for your own choices. Blaming the company, blaming the culture, blaming your upline, blaming your downline, blaming, mistakes that you made in staying on your phone too much, and now your spouse is mad at you, blaming that on Beachbody. So guys, just be aware of that. I'm so glad you guys, brought that up. Everybody on the call needs to be aware. Look out for those 3 ways that Satan's going to take this blessing from you. And he'll try all 3 of them at various points in your journey.
Yes. One thing that we do with our coaches that has, I think, brought forward more leaders on our team and more people who just are excited about the business, because in the past it was, let's get you to diamond. And what we've kind of done now is our first thing that we do is have them go to emerald, and then we give them the option. You can build that weak leg and you can make up to $250 a week at emerald, or you can choose to go to diamond. A lot of them choose to go on to diamond, but we give them that choice. And I don't know, I think it just kind of frees people up, and they kind of feel there's no pressure. It wasn't for us. That was their decision, and they go forward with it. And so they don't feel like they're letting us down, because we were fine if they wanted to just cycle at emerald. And when that pressure comes off that they're going to disappoint us and it's just about them and their business, something starts to happen. And so that's just.
Yeah, and I mean, I really wish we had done that earlier on, because I'm not going to lie to you, my drive for recognition has ruined some relationships that I've had to gone back and get forgiveness from. It's hard to do. And, I remember Tracy Morrow saying at Leadership in 2012, she's like, whenever Carl Deichler presented this business opportunity to a lot of the founding coaches, to the customers that they picked to be founding coaches, she told Carl that this business is going to need to be a business of a lot of forgiveness. And that stands true because we're people, we're human, we make a lot of mistakes. But don't be so prideful that up till now that if you've done something that you shouldn't have, go get forgiveness, go rekindle those relationships. But I've had to do it, and it's kind of hard, kind of swallowing your pride and saying, hey, I drove you away. I was really concentrating on my own success. I didn't care a flip about yours. I just wanted you to be diamond, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being a crappy friend. And, but now those of you who are newer, even those who are like 3-4 years old, just know, Miranda's right. She speaks the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing on that same line of thought, and then I'll move on to my other two things. We always have to come back to, Jesus is freedom and Satan is slavery. And so anytime you feel like you're a slave to your business, a slave to your phone, a slave to your laptop, a slave to Facebook, you need to step back and, like Dennis and Julie talked about, put your goals out there, pray about it, keep your priorities straight, and balance that with, don't be afraid to work this business for fear of it becoming an idol. Just always gut check yourself and know where your heart is. You need to have permission to be successful. Don't fear success as though that's wrong, because it's not. So just always look for that balance and always remind yourself, if you're feeling like this business is giving you freedom, then you're in the right place. So right now for me, that is, we just rented an apartment on a country club in Tyler that we're going to be moving to live there for a year or two until we figure out where we want to be long term. We haven't sold our house yet. So we've got rent and a mortgage. They're about the same amount of money that we are currently committed to. All the expenses that moving involves. I have an appointment to put braces on my 15-year-old, which I will pay cash for using one of my quarterly bonuses that I saved. We're going to Nashville in the middle of all this, and our daughter's starting private school in the fall. And to me, the fact that I can juggle all of that, jump on a call here with you guys, be in Success Club already, pulling a paycheck every week that allows me to maintain all that with my family, to me, that's freedom. So yes, I'm putting my family first, up there right with God, and my business second, but the relationship between all that has blessed my socks off. And I think that's what we hear in you guys' story as well. One question on Success Club. I have so many coaches that hit it 1 month and then they're like, oh my gosh, I did it. Now, that was good. Woohoo. And then they don't hit it again. So how do you guys keep, both in yourselves and with your team, how do you keep from being a one-hit wonder with Success Club or even Diamond Rank, and then maintaining that level and continuing to build momentum so that it's consistent over time? Just real quick before we end.
Yeah, we have those people as well. And the only thing that I can do, really, I feel, is use my influence. We influence people to join us. We influence our coaches to keep going for it, based upon, them being inspired through our story. And it really boils down to me sharing my story and me sharing my experience, me sharing the stories of other successful people who are on our team. And that's it. I share a story. I tell them your business is going to look so much better. You're going to make more money. You're going to help more people if you just remain consistent and make Success Club. Sure, you can hit Success Club once and take a break. Absolutely do that. That's your choice. But these are your goals that you told me, and you want to achieve those goals as fast as possible because you told me that you did, and the only way to do that is through Success Club. So really, it's up to you, and I can help influence you, and I can help give you tips, and I can even help you on what to say to your customers or to your coaches, to your friends who are wanting to join you, because you can screenshot and we can ghost the conversation. But that's about it. Ultimately, it's up to you and your own personal drive.
Yeah, and so important. Even you talk about get their goals a lot when you're signing someone up for a challenge pack. I preach that constantly to our coaches. In the conversation, it's so important to talk intensively about their goals. Is that a word, intensively? About their goals over and over and over, so that when you tell them that it's $140 and they balk at that, you can say, but wait a second, this is what you wanted to do. Seriously? You know, you have that. But I think sometimes with coaches, we miss that step. Like we say, oh, let's have that getting started call. Tell me your goals. Oh, that's great. All right, now here's what you do. Success Club and Emerald. And they make it, and you're like, well, cool. Then they must have gotten it. They got it because they told me their goals, and then they did it. And one thing that really helps is constantly going back through those goals. Because me and Dennis, like through this whole process, have had each other to talk about our goals. You know, what are we going to do in 8 years? Are we going to sell our house and just live in this RV and travel everywhere? You know, we're constantly talking about those goals, and it motivates us. And so you got to think your coaches need that same conversation and dialogue, like constantly talking about goals and reminding them about goals. So we'll do that a lot. We'll post in our team and have them all just, hey, let's all just reshare our goals this month. Or, you know, when they do hit Success Club, reminding them that's awesome because you want blah, 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 and just constantly talking about it and keeping them excited about it. I think we kind of sometimes forget that with coaches.
But one thing that Miranda cannot be for you or cannot do for you, and one thing you cannot do to your people, is you cannot baby them, right? And you can't make people get into Success Club. Our job as coaches is to not wipe your dirty butts all the time. You need to make Success Club because it's important. Success Club really isn't the goal. You know, making 30 Success Club points, that's a great goal. Success Club 5, that is a must in this business. It's important.
It's a non-negotiable.
It's a non-negotiable.
Like, it's not even a goal. It's just what you do, because that's just how this business works.
Two-star
It's just like when I went to the bank and worked, every day we balanced the vault. It wasn't my goal to balance the vault every day. I didn't hope I would balance the vault that day. I balanced the vault because if I didn't, then people got real weird about that, and they started asking questions. It was just the thing I did. Dennis didn't go to work as a police officer and say, my goal today is to write a ticket, you know, or whatever. Like, he just had to do that because it was his job. My goal today is to help somebody. I don't know. You know, like it's your job, and that's just Success Club. But yeah, you can't motivate. That was a lesson that we learned over these 6 years.
And that's how we kind of ruined the relationships as well back then, is because we pushed people too far, me trying to motivate them. But
and they just didn't want it.
Yeah, motivation comes from within. I can't motivate anybody.
And you spend so much time carrying so many coaches to Success Club every month. If you're having to push and pull and drag them, that you actually, what we found, we're missing so many people that we could be talking to that really just want this business. So I can't make you want it, but I can find people who do want it.
So you basically become a manager, right, instead of an influencer.
Done that. Don't do that again.
You know, I didn't sign up to be a baby whopping, booty whopping manager. So yeah. I don't baby anyone anymore. I don't encourage you to anyone on this call to do that as well. If you see someone at 4 points, someone on your team has 4 points, and you're already in, make sure you're in first before you help other people. Just like if you're on an airplane, it says put the mask on first before you help somebody else, right?
They've heard me say that. Yep, I love that.
Maybe that's where I heard it. Who knows? But it's important to take care of yourself first and then them. But then it's like, hey girl, I noticed that you're at 4 points. I know you know how Success Club, or how important Success Club 5 is because you hear me preach about it all the time. What can I do to help you get that final point?
And if they ignore you, move on and done.
Move on.
And they don't want the final point. The best way to teach someone to lead is to just be a good leader and show them and model the way for them. And then, but we're pretty upfront when we sign people up. Look, you told us your goals. We want that for you. That's amazing. I can't make it happen. I'm going to train you. This is how it works. I'm always here for you. Our coaches know they can text us and we'll answer them if it's in a reasonable hour. But I can't make them want this business. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you and your time. I know you guys are on vacation and celebrating birthday this week, getting ready to go to Summit. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And before we all close this out, twice in the last 2 weeks, I've heard about 3 other MLMs that are not doing well. Of course, we all have seen the stuff about Herbalife online, got their hands slapped for some unethical things they were doing. But also Silpata, that makes all the beautiful silver jewelry, they've completely shut down. They're out of business. Totally done. 31. I have a new coach on my team that's a 31 consultant, and she said they're down from 110,000 distributors to 57,000. People are quitting like crazy. They've dropped by 50% in a year. And then we look at Beachbody, and I think so many times we take for granted how amazing this business is. And to me, the Fowlers are the epitome of what I want this to be for me, my family, my faith. And so to know that not only is our company growing and we can look at corporate, even Carl himself, and see his heart for people, but even down to the little guy here where we can jump on a call, just a few of us, and hear from a very successful couple within this business who is putting God and family before this business. And for them to tell you guys, do not put this business first. I mean, that just doesn't make sense, right? But that's why Beachbody's growing. That's why our team is one of the fastest growing teams in the network. And the Fowlers continue to be a pillar of strength for those of us who put our faith first within this business. And you guys, I just want you to stand firm on that, because you can be successful in this even without letting it cost you your family and your time and your freedom. And every one of you that's on this call, and those of you that will be listening later as a recording, do that. And that's why you're seeing success and you're making a real difference in the lives of the people around you that God has put in your path. So awesome call this morning, guys. I'll see most of you at Summit next week. Can't wait to hug your neck, Dennis and Julie. You guys are such a blessing to me. And thanks again for your time.
No problem, girl.
Bye, guys. Bye, girls.
See you later. Bye.